this problem is from Homework 1.0. It's the paper homework in Math 141. It's skills review from intermediate algebra. So this number 5 could be tackled a couple of different ways, but the first thing we need to do is expand out this these two binomials being multiplied. So we're going to find the product of that first. So just, FOIL that, n squared plus 3n minus 7n minus 21 equals 4. Then we can just streamline that. Then we'll just clean that up a bit and set it equal to 0. So we have n squared minus 4n, and then we have our minus 21, and then we'd subtract this 4, so we have minus 25 equals 0. Then from there, for this one, I just used the quadratic formula. So the quad formula is set up as a quadratic, so I can use that, no problem. If you remember that it would be the x will equal, it's actually x-intercepts. So it's when y equals 0, if we're thinking of the function, we would have minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. You could complete the square. You really can't factor that one, so this is a good method here. Then we need to know that our a is 1. So this is our a. Our b is negative 4, and our c is minus 25, or negative 25. So then we're going to go ahead and fill in those things to the formula. So we would have our minus 4, but it's minus 4, or minus negative 4. Okay, so I'll just leave it like that for now. Then I'm going to pause and just fill this in. You can go ahead and do that. Okay, so once we have that all filled in, we're going to simplify. So negative 4 will become positive 4, plus or minus. And then under the square root, this is where people need to be a little careful. Remember, negative 4 squared, it's all squared. It's inside the parentheses. The base is negative 4, so that's going to be a positive 16. Then here as well, people sometimes get a little tripped up. So we could change this right here as plus negative, so that it's just a little more clear. So I would have plus negative 4 times 1 times negative 25 is going to give us the positive 100. Okay, so that's really important. Don't need that quite so long, but and then over 2. So a lot of times people kind of get tripped up with that subtract there and don't get the signs right. So it's just helpful to do that. Add the opposite. Anytime you have a subtract, you can add the opposite. So then I'm going to just finish this out, and I need to simplify that radical if possible. So that would be 116 over, so 4 plus or minus 116 over 2, a radical 116 over 2. And I can actually break down that radical 116. I can simplify it, so I'm going to just do that off to the side over here. So if I have radical 116, how that will divide out actually is going to be, we'll just break it down in there. We would actually have 4 times 29. If you weren't sure how to figure that out, you could do the prime factorization tree. Break it down to 2 times 58, then that breaks down to 2 times 29, you have 2 times 2 is 4, so that's why I'm looking for a perfect square. And I can actually pull out the square root of 4 as 2, so this splits apart, if you remember, like that. And then I can take the square root of 4 and write that as 2 and leave the 29 under a radical. That's prime, so it's not going to break down anymore. So then we can go back over here and finish that out. So we have x equals 4 plus or minus 2 radical 29 all divided by 2. Now be careful to not be sloppy with your canceling. You actually want to make sure you split that apart. So I'm going to do that again over here. So I would write that as 4 over 2 plus or minus 2 root 29 over 2, and then reduce. Or we call it canceling to 1 a lot of times. So then my final answer for that one, that would be 2 over 1. So I'm just going to write 2 plus or minus, and then I'm left with the square root of 29 over 1. And that is my final answer. Right, so I hope you found that helpful, and let me know if you have any other questions or you have requests for other homeworks to be done. Have a great day.